Welcome to Expressing Your Essence. Essence is our energy signature, a distinct energy that we perceive beyond the purely physical. Where better to share this with you than having Disney World in the background? It is truly one of my favorite places on earth. And where else do you see the essence of something expressed in colors than Disney World? I'm Mary Kramer, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how you can show up in the world authentically and align with your essence in a way that empowers you. I'll show you how aligning your outer presentation with your natural inner energy attracts into your life the circumstances and people that allow you to live the life in ways that support you in feeling confident and making the difference you are meant to make and be the person you are meant to be. I am a big Disney fan, and during their happily ever after fireworks show that happens every night, they begin the show with something I want to share with you. Each of us has a dream, a heart's desire. It calls to us. And when we are brave enough to listen and bold enough to pursue, that dream will lead us on a journey to discover who we are meant to be. All we have to do is look inside our hearts and unlock the magic within. No matter if you are male or female, that is what we are going to do today. Learn how to unlock some of your magic and express it. In our Take a Quantum Leap programs, we share through your unique purpose formula 5 important questions to discovering and living your life in a way that you intuitively know. The first question we share is, who am I? When we take people through exercises designed to help them find their own personal answers to this question, they uncover their quintessence. Quintessence is the real and concentrated essence of you. It is the energy that you resonate out into the world without even knowing, like a beacon of light. It is what people feel about you because you can't help shining it out. But most of us don't know what energy is, what our essence is. Without speaking to people, without meeting them, we get a sense who we feel they are, what they are all about. We feel their essence, the energy they can't help but send out into the world. We just know who they are. That's what I'm talking about. How can we get to know that part of us? How can we find the answer to the question, who am I? How can we find the beacon of light we are pushing out to others without even realizing it? How do we give them a clear, unobstructed view of us? I have found that one very effective way to help you find and own your essence and then share it in the world purposely is in how you dress. When you dress in alignment with your essence, there is no confusion or mixed messages. You are you through and through. It's not about being a fashionista. It's not about being in the latest trends. It's about being you. You can be trendy. You can be a fashionista. But know that you are representing the true you. You can wear all vintage clothing. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about, what do you like? Why do you like it? How can I help you find more about who you are? How can I help you express more about who you are? This parlays beautifully into finding your answers to, who am I? When you find the answers, you have uncovered your essence. So you say to yourself, I have an inkling or I have a feeling about who I am, but how do I put that out into the world? Let's say that if you met me and I was wearing several bright patterns and prints, you would feel the confusion between my essence and my clothing. I would guess you all would be looking at me and you would be thinking, that's really weird. Those clothes don't match how I feel about her. When the heart and mind sense that things are out of sync, it creates chaos. This chaos creates the reason your mind then gets distracted with figuring out what is wrong or what's out of alignment. How do we take that apart and plan in our dress and in our clothing, how we want to be perceived based on who we know we are, and especially when we are in the public like most of us are? Most of us have clients or people we deal with on a regular basis. We want people to feel us first, feel a sense of trust and calmness. We don't want their brain distracting them. When this happens, they spend all of their time not listening to you, not learning from you, but wondering why they feel there is something wrong. The mind wants to figure it out. How can we help remove the confusion? You can remove the confusion by dressing and accessorizing to your essence. And you don't even need to know your essence to get started in removing the confusion. And this goes for men and for women. Let me share an example of a clothing and essence disconnect. We have a client, Joe, who does body healing work with massage and sound. It would be a big disconnect if he did his healing work in a 3-piece suit, right? That'd be really weird. People would be confused why he would do healing work in a 3-piece suit. So that's a very exaggerated example, but there is so much to clothing and why people dress the way they do. One of the ways we discover who we are is by using language, using words. I just experienced a perfect example recently of words and energy. I want to tell you a really quick story. I flew to Reno and attended a very beautiful workshop. In this workshop, the facilitator worked with us to develop I am statements to help us find our power in living our lives. I think it's a beautiful way to bring what Vince and I call your divine intent into your daily life. Anyway, one of the exercises the facilitator shared, which was so fascinating, is she took a piece of paper and taped it to each of our backs. And each of the ladies, it happened to be all women, were given markers. Our instructions were to write a word or phrase on each person's paper about what our sense of them or what we felt about them were. When we were done working with our mosaic, and after having a sense of who each of the other women were in the workshop, interestingly, during the workshop, we ladies didn't interact a whole lot. It was very much a meditative experience to do the mosaic. In the morning, we had heard about the value and significance of words, but then we spent 3 or 4 hours kind of in our own world, building our mosaic and allowing our words to bubble up from inside. At the end of the class, after everyone had the opportunity to write on everyone else's paper, we pulled our piece of paper off, and there were these beautiful words perceived by everyone in the workshop about who we each were. It was amazing what people saw in each other by just being together. One of the words on my paper was quite surprising to me. I had just discovered that a part of my essence and a gift of mine is seeing people for who they really are. The statement that the woman wrote on my back was, "You see in me what I don't." I had just learned that very thing in my work. And then this woman, who absolutely has no idea who I am other than just meeting me, felt it through my essence. She wrote, "You see me." That's basically what I was saying. That's what she was saying. I was absolutely floored by that confirmation and the beautiful exercise. So this is very important to the process that I'm going to share with you about how you can dress as you uncover who you are through seeing what you are attracted to. And if you decide to work further with us through the exercises we share, learning how to take you out into the world, how you can apply what I'm going to share with you, uncover more of the inside and take it from the inside to the outside of you. I have taken the training I received and combined it with the work I've developed with Vince in the steps I'm about to share with you. And along with the personal closet work I do, I can help you align the inside and the outside in a way that allows you to share the real you in the world. And I love going into people's closets and showing them their inherent understanding of their own colors, showing them their inherent styles, and showing them that they actually, at one point in their life, had an inherent sense of their inner beauty and their outer beauty. But we've spent all of our lives looking at magazines and television and our best friends and wanting to look like that, and that. and we've completely lost a lot of us. No one has completely lost their inherent ability to be who they are, but most of us don't know how to get back there. I want to share with you a process that you can use to rediscover your inner beauty and share it in an empowering way. I call it your essence signature. The process is 7 steps to saying yes to expressing who you really are. The unique thing about this process is you can use it to discover how your outward expression can enhance your essence, or you can discover your essence through becoming aware of what your clothes and closet tell you about who you truly are and the energy you put out into the world. Your essence signature is how you take your energy signature, your 3D body, your unique personality out to have fun and express it all to the world. So the people who receive you, whether it's your best friend, your partner, or a business associate, are feeling in harmony with you and enjoy you and listen to you instead of feeling disconnected or distracted about what you're wearing. Like, why did you do that or say that or look like that? There are, as I said, 7 steps: personality and goals, current overall impression, coloring and contrast levels, makeup, hairstyle, accessories, and glasses, body type, proportion, and best clothing styles. In this video, I want to share 3 of the steps with you. We're going to look at personality and goals, coloring and contrast levels, and best clothing styles. If you take what I share with you in these 3 areas and implement them, you will begin the important inside-outside alignment process. I would like to share with you a case study because I believe it is the best way to share this information with you in a way that you can begin to implement each of the 3 into your day-to-day life right now. This is Tammy Brandkamp, and Tammy has agreed to allow me to use her experience as my example in this video. As you can see in her quote, Tammy wanted to align with her true self and reflect who she is out into the world. In this lovely picture, Tammy is at a professional conference, and she looks happy and cheerful. Wouldn't you agree with that? How else would you describe her? In a recent Take a Quantum Leap event, the participants also described her as knowledgeable, nice, strong, and loving. People that know Tammy added creative, sparkly, intelligent, a wordsmith, wise, intense, and forceful. If you know Tammy, you would find these words pretty accurate. Step 1 is for you and me, of course, to understand your personality and goals. We go very deep into your personality in our programs, but for this level of essence, working with a general understanding is very helpful. We went through an assessment and Tammy answered the questions in the Uncover Your Essence survey. To give you an idea of the types of questions, here are a few of them. What is the style you want? How would you like to be perceived? How do others describe you? What is your favorite bird or animal? What is your favorite flower? What was your favorite color as a child? And what is your favorite color now? In the survey, I asked questions to really tap into your inherent knowing. Tammy tapped into her knowing, the knowing of who she is on the inside, of her essence, what she loves. These answers weren't from the media or her best friend. What Tammy loves is from the inside of Tammy. A lot of time we forget, we ignore, and we push aside the things that we do love, and as a child expressed more than we do now. Let me share her answers. Here in the red are Tammy's answers, such as her favorite animal is the lion and flower is a rose. The second step I want to share in this video is color and contrast. Color and contrast are one of the 2 most important things to grab people's attention when they first see you. They use it subconsciously to compare what they see to the feeling they received from your energy or essence you're naturally resonating out. When I visited Tammy's home, this is what I found. These represent many of the things that she loves, and these pictures were in her home. I find it to be very common that the things that we love because we are loving what's inside of us, who we really are, we actually hang on our walls. And it's so fun for me when I'm doing closet work to go into someone's home and look around because often I can match what pictures they have on their walls. Their essence and color is displayed right in front of them. Has anyone seen the movie Dead to Me on Netflix? There are so many messages being shared in movies. I'm a big fan. It's a really awesome movie, by the way. Anyway, in the movie, this woman visits the home of her new friend. This friend had lived in the house with her boyfriend. They had just broken up. When the woman walked into the house, it didn't look or feel anything like her friend. She didn't even believe that her friend had ever lived in the house. There was nothing about the friend or even the partnership. Of course, it wouldn't have been a happy place for the friend because it wasn't a reflection of her in any way. And part of the movie was about that. And that happens a lot if you think about it. How many times do we go into houses that are decorated to look like a magazine or they're sterile? It's now so easy to decorate because of the TV shows and the department stores. You can decorate to make things perfect, but do they reflect you? So in Tammy's home, these 3 photos are hanging. And the minute I saw them, I was like, wow, that's Tammy. That is how I feel when I'm around Tammy. And if you look at the picture on the bottom with the patterns and see how it has the sparkle, the effervescence, see how we can tie the words people shared into paintings that are hanging on her wall in her home. The other thing that's interesting about these pictures is notice that all 3 have a medium contrast. When it comes to color and contrast, it helps to understand what represents the real you. Let me explain. Here are 3 terms that are important to understand. Let's start with value. Value of a color, which is light, medium, or dark, creates the contrast. This contrast is created in the gray scale shown on the right. Look under value. As you can see, the scale goes from white all the way to black. If you looked at a black and white picture of you, you could determine the light, medium, or dark value in your hair, skin, and eye colors. And if they are all light in value, you will most easily wear low color contrast in your clothing. One of the things that I wanted to share with you today, a little tidbit, is often people wear black and white together because it's easy. Generally, people who wear black and white well have dark hair and white skin, for example. But think about what kind of personality, what kind of person wears black and white well. They might have an intensity and crispness about them. In this video, I'm wearing a medium value pigment, magenta. This replicates the medium value you see in my hair, skin, and eye colors. Hue is the trueness of a color. It doesn't have any added tint, which is white to lighten it or shading to blacken it. Saturation describes the purity of color or the intensity of color. How much light has been added or subtracted from the pure pigment? If we go back to Tammy's artwork, notice that she has a full range of hues or colors. The saturation is light. Notice in those 3 pictures that they are not high in contrast. They are medium value. It's not about where is their black or where is their white. They're soft. They're blended. When we look at Tammy's picture, notice her skin tone, her hair, and her eyes. There's not a large scale of difference to them. She's not similar in coloring to Snow White with white skin and black hair. So her clothing would replicate a medium contrast. That's what I learned about her in her art. And I looked at it very closely and I could see that in her survey. Her favorite things were the detail in leaves. So that automatically is going to tell us that her clothing has to have detail in it. If you peeked in Tammy's closet, you would see how she already has clothes that show all of these aspects. They have detail, patterns. I listen to what she inherently likes. looked at the art she surrounds herself with, examined what she loves in nature, and found a palette of colors that represent her essence. This palette includes the hue, saturation, and value that aligns with Tammy's essence. We all come from nature, and I find the palette intuitively comes from it. We're all built just like the trees and the sound and the ocean, and just like every aspect of nature, there's a purpose and a reason for us. We will thrive when we find and live it. We all have our own sacred geometry. We all have our own symmetry, just like nature does. And as we notice the medium value of the pictures, the flow, the patterns, we can see the essence of Tammy. We can find yours by going through the same process. The third step in the yes process we are going to cover in this video is clothing styles. Clothing styles is the other of the two most important things to grab people's attention when they first see you. They also use it subconsciously to compare what they see to the feeling they receive from your energy or essence. You naturally resonate out. In the world of style, there is a woman, Carla Mathis, who has taken all of this work to the master level. I have studied under her, and I am proud to call her my mentor. Carla is beyond belief, and she's a lot of fun to work with. She shares the categories of styles of clothing into 9 distinct styles. These 9 styles are traditional, classical, elegant, sporty, exotic, creative, artistic, dramatic, romantic, sexy, and whimsical. And everyone on the planet seems to fit into 1 to 3 of these categories. To use exotic as an example, the tribal peoples of Africa have a style to them. And even now, when we see their exotic prints and we see people that blend them with wearing jeans, it's still from a clothing style of exotic. In a typical room at our Imagine Miracles events, most everyone in the room exhibits an actual elegance. There's a softness about most in attendance. That is both for males and females. There is classic, and some are a little bit more sporty. There's a little bit of romanticism in all of us. Some in the rooms take a style too far in trying to portray a certain image. There's a psychological study that we can go into more deeply for those who may want to work one-on-one with me. In that survey, we find out where you are. Let's say too rigid in your clothing or too traditional. We can see where you are dressed in a very structured way, how you were told to dress, or maybe just trying to fit in. A person from the East Coast comes to mind. He dressed so preppy that you couldn't breathe around him, and it was too stuffy for his essence. When he put a little flow into his preppiness or a little elegance into his preppiness by softening the crew neck sweater and the button-down shirt, he was more himself and not what he thought he should be because of a picture in a magazine. But that's not arbitrary. There's actually a whole science to finding out where your elegance comes in and where your traditional aspects come in. Back to Tammy, what we discovered is where she's most in harmony, most in alignment, is blending elegance, sporty, and creative. She's very creative. People that know her describe her as creative, and she wants to be perceived as creative. The necklaces she wears show you that how creative she is, and her putting a certain necklace with a certain blouse shows her creativity. One of the things that Tammy and I are working on is bringing some movement to her clothes so they aren't so structured. Something that when she walks, it floats all around. One of the things that expresses Tammy's essence and brings flow are beautiful shawls. They're harmonizing and make us sort of settle down and want to listen to what else she has to say. This is making Tammy's essence tangible. We're actually intentionally creating a look with her clothing so that people perceive who she is, and we are being very clear on how we want people to perceive her. So there's coherence between what you see and feel around her. Tammy teaches a neuroscience class at the university and mentioned that she would like to ease up the energy in the room a little bit when she's teaching such a hard subject. We put an outfit together and she intentionally went to class wearing clothing that was a little bit more flowing so that she would create the intent in the room of comfort and ease for her 60+ students that are learning this difficult subject that's pure memorization. Could they feel more supported and relaxed, comfortable and confident in what they had to do if they were in an energetic environment of flow? We are all energy. That computer you're watching this on is energy. The notebook or journal is energy. Everything is energy. So if Tammy is in more ease and she's creating an energetic environment in those great big university classrooms where the students are learning this really tough stuff, they are more at ease. Pretty fantastic. So we're using color that's inherent for Tammy, her skin tone, her hair, her eyes, and we're feeling the vibration of Tammy, feeling the vibration in her clothing, and feeling the intent of how she wants to come across and what her goal is, what she wants to accomplish. And clearly there is a knowing that we all have. It's just about getting it out and expressing it. The fun really comes when we step into your closet, either in person or over the internet on Zoom, FaceTime, or Skype. This is what Tammy had to say.
All right, so I'm going to be like really authentic and vulnerable here. I've been sick, congested, draining for a week now. Tomorrow, I'm doing a first workshop for about 20 women. I'm like, I'm swollen. My nose is messed up. And I got this closet and no, it's not too bad. It's kind of organized, but I have no clue what to wear. None. So I'm like, what do I do?
I love being in people's closets because that is where I can help them uncover their true selves. When we get to that place, I can truly help you find what is right for you and aligning with your essence, who you are. Here's an example of what you could expect.
So talking about that print, I mean, I really was drawn to it. I drawn to the colors. And you're saying it's because my eyes.
Yes.
My eyes are in there and part of my coloring is in there. But I know if I'd worn that, that's all people would see is the dress.
All they would see. So the scale is wrong for you and your face. There's parts of the color that are perfect. And this is a little bit, one thing I didn't say earlier is this is a little bit too patterned. Like it continues the pattern over and over and over.
Okay.
So it becomes a pattern which you don't express at all.
Mm-mm.
So the mind, the brain is in the background going, disconnect. This, when I look at her, I do not see the patternedness of Tammy. I don't see these colors in her skin tone.
Mm-hmm.
But I do appreciate that blue-gray in her eye.
Yeah.
But I feel a disconnect. So then I'm distracted because I'm not listening to her message because there's this part of me that's going, that's not right.
Got it.
So you saw the clothes in the closet and on the back of the bed. I mean, she had clothes, all over the place. But it only took us 2 hours. We went through her piles really fast. She was really open because we were using her language. We were using that survey and we were using her inherent coloring and we're bringing that out so Tammy could see Tammy. That's really all that she and I were doing together. And we picked 3 amazing outfits that radiate her essence. And we did it all by using the 3 steps I shared with you in this video. If you look at the color palette that came from what she loves most, from her description about the landscapes that she loves, and all these clothes were in her closet. We didn't go shopping. They were there. It was just about putting them together, keeping them in her hue, saturation, and value, her medium value, all expressing her energy for all to see and not just feel. You could see in the middle picture balance. So one of the things we go into depth with is looking at your body shape and how you dress to look balanced. In Tammy's case, she's very much a figure 8. A figure 8 shape has a defined waist and the hips and shoulders are both fairly proportioned. This shape carries her weight at the high hip just under the waist. The figure 8 looks better in a straight skirt versus an A-line skirt. The goal is to wear skirts and dresses that fall smoothly over the hips and go straight down because the high hip is wider than the waist. This avoids looking wide. One thing to avoid is boxy jackets, as the figure 8 must have shaping in her top, such as a peplum, and she may find that a wide waistband in her pants will work best for her. In the case of the palazzo pants, they fall straight down and create motion of elegance. The ultimate goal for balance is as the viewer's eyes scan the body, they don't stop at the shoes. In creating harmony and balance, the eye moves back to her face. We want people to pay attention to not just how we feel to them, but be intent on listening to us. The clothing puts it into balance because it is proportionate to her body and aligned with her essence. This is Tammy, the next day after we did our closet work when she was feeling sick. This is the outfit we picked for her workshop. She wore her palazzo pants and a lovely pump and a printed blouse. It beautifully aligns with her, and you can see how her energy is supported by it. I do want to point out an exception to the value discussion. Even though she has white pants on and a dark blouse, see how there is a continuity to it? There's a harmony because she has the presence to handle the printed blouse with the white pants, and it looks just beautiful on her. Environment affects how we want to share our essence in the world. I'd like to share yet another way Tammy can align with her essence in another environment. Her favorite flower is the rose, a blend of yellow and pink, and this was a beauty to me. This picture absolutely exemplifies her essence 100% as the softer, quieter part of her versus the pictures where she's teaching or she's leading a workshop. Leading a workshop is a good example of when she probably wants to share the empowered part of her essence and not necessarily the super soft, super quiet side. She wants to be commanding in one environment and she wants to be lovely and open and receptive in another. Perhaps she's leading a workshop that is much more intimate, where there's meditations, where she wants to be softer. Then we have that pulled together look for her, which is more like the rose. Tammy wanted to come across as credible, creative, friendly, and energetic. I also see her as magnetic, beautiful, aligned, and expansive. Wouldn't you agree with that? Hard not to, especially when you can feel her beautiful picture and the energy that she's emanating from the inside out. That's what I wanted to share with you about bringing your inside to your outside. You might not know what your essence is, what you feel about it, or question that it is as powerful as you think it should be. I was telling someone the other day about Vince's essence. The first time he discovered it was gentle power, he was offended because it didn't seem strong enough. But just like Vince, once we get to that place where we understand that it is who we are, that is a part of us, and it affects everyone around us, we realize that it's powerful. It is truly your being. And by expressing it fully, brings and attracts so much into your life. People relate to you so fast. When Vince dresses for our workshops, he wears long sleeve t-shirts, Henleys. They align with the boyish, gentle type of essence. The type of person to be able to roll up his sleeves and be there for you. It really magnifies the energy that he's putting into the experience. And that's what our work is all about, is how can we bring that out for each and every one of you? How can we help you experience that? Because I'll guarantee you, if people stop to look at you, they feel good about themselves in the moment because they feel good about what they are feeling. And truly, that's what it's all about. One of the biggest things that I like to share with people who do workshops, seminars, meetings, or everything else for that matter, the words more than anything are keeping the mind busy and helping the mind feel comfortable about what you're teaching with your energy and with your example. And when you're in that much of alignment, what you're sharing is amazing. When you're in alignment with who you are, the people with you feel good and feel comfortable about themselves, and they trust you with truly and honestly their lives. When you're in alignment and you can share that energies where they can truly make decisions, that's when they become empowered. And that's all about you giving them who you are in every aspect of the ways that you're sharing yourself. So it's just so important for you to find that place. And like I said, it's not necessarily going out and buying new clothes or necessarily getting your colors done. It's just learning who you really are, your essence. And in that knowing, you shine that out into the world. Now, the exciting thing is, if you bring the essence work and the quantum leap together, it's pretty powerful because when you bring what you see in the mirror together with the answers you find in the workshop, you believe because you see and feel the alignment. And you find self acceptance because you see the real you reflected back in the mirror. I'd love to help you find your essence signature, to take this information you learned today and bring it into every aspect of your life. You deserve it, and the world is waiting for it. What if we could sit down for 20 to 30 minutes and I could help you see, hear, and feel how you could implement all 7 steps of your essence signature into your life? What if we could find together what your next best move will be? Are you ready to say yes to yourself and have the people in your life, family, friends, and clients say yes to you also? If you are ready, I want you to go to imaginemiracles.com/yes right now and sign up for my one-on-one Express Your Essence discovery session. Let's do this together. Let's find the next step, you and me. There's no cost involved, and it's a $250 value that I want to give to you. Sessions are scheduled on a first come, first served basis, and I can only book 3 weeks out. So please don't delay if you want one of these sessions. It is imaginemiracles.com/yes. Say yes to your signature essence. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I can't wait to see the difference you make in the world. Until we have the opportunity to talk again, thank you so much for sharing and connecting with me.